Welcome to Amud Yomi Shiur. We're learning Maseches Kiddushin, Dan Samech Daled Amud Aleph. Let's go straight into the Mishnah. Mi she'omer b'shas misosoy yesh li bonim ne'eman. A couple was married, and it was assumed that this person, has no children, right? It was assumed the person has no children, or so we assume that it was assumed right now. And therefore, if he has no children, she needs Yibum, right? The woman needs Yibum. Now, at the time of death, the person says, Yesh li bonim. Don't worry, darling. Now, on my deathbed, I'm saying that I have sons. I have a son somewhere. You never knew about it from previous marriage or something. And therefore, you don't have to be Misya Bemis. Regarding what I said about the Chazoko, it's actually a question. We're going to discuss it soon. But let's see that now he's saying, I have sons, I have children, I have other children. Therefore, you should know, since I'm about to die, you will not have to have Yibum. He's comforting her that she doesn't need Yibum. Yeah? Okay. Yesh li achim, is Ne'eman, he's believed to say that. Yesh li achim eino Ne'eman. And if he says, I have brothers, meaning, let's say it was assumed up until now that she does not need Yibum. Now he's coming and he says, lady, I'm so sorry, my dear wife of 20 years, we have no children. And you should know, I'm sorry to tell you, that yeshli achim, I have brothers, which means now you need Yibum, einoi ne'eman. Then he's not believed. In other words, we all know that's going to be the name of the game the whole time over here. We all know that there are two conditions for a woman to require Yibum or Chalitza, that he has no sons, and he does have brothers, right? Let's leave alone the Chazaka for now. Let's leave alone the Chazaka. But at the time of death, this is for later, at the time of death, what does he say? He says, I have sons. Yeah, I have sons. He's believed to say that he has sons, and therefore she's potur. She is exempt from chalitza, whatever she assumed before. And if he says, I have brothers, which means he's coming to say that you do need chalitza, he's coming to disqualify, require chalitza, to be machmir, that we don't believe. That we say we don't believe. Okay? Meaning we only go lekula and not lechumra. Rashi does say at the end of the Mishnah, yeah, maybe Rashi goes only on the Seifa, maybe goes on both parts. Let's assume now that Rashi is referring to the entire Mishnah, not like I said before, that could be. Maybe Rashi means to say that the Chazaka, meaning the assumption up until the death was that she's not Zukuka. She always thought she doesn't need Yibum. Now, if at the time of death, that's what the Gemara is going to say at the end, if at the time of death he's asserting the Chazaka, he's mechazik the Chazaka, he's saying, yes, it's true. You don't need Yibum by saying that I do have sons. I'm declaring that I have sons. Then great and good. If he's coming to forbid her to the world and say, hey, I have brothers, ha ha ha, then you really need Yibum. You should know, find out who my brother is. Nice oils. And then what? You should know that I have some brothers somewhere and you are stuck as long as they don't do chalitza to you or Yibum, then he's not believed. He's not believed to say that. Of course, the question is why. So let's see what the Gemara says. Says the Gemara, Alma, what do we gather from the Mishnah? Ne'eman lehatir ve'ne'eman le'esor. Okay, it actually makes sense as of itself. He's only believed to permit her. He's not believed to forbid her, right? That is what we assume right now. And if we say, by the way, if we say that the Chazaka was no sons, yes brothers, what does that mean? That the Chazaka was he has no sons and he has brothers, right? Let's say that was the Chazaka le Isser. Yeah, the Chazaka is le Isser. Then no, again. No, that's later on. Let's assume now, for now, I would erase it until later. Let's say the Chazaka was that she was fine, she's okay, she doesn't need Yibum. Let's assume the Chazaka was there was no Yibum needed, no Yibum, no, fine. Meaning he's assumed to have brothers, and he's assumed, yes, to have brothers, and not have sons. Let's assume the other way. Then the Mishnah makes a lot of sense. Why? When at his deathbed he's mechazek what we have previously known, then very good. But if he's coming to say against the chazaka, he's coming to forbid her against what we knew our entire lives, mechitesi, how do you know that this is so? How do you know it's true? Right? Let's go now the other way around. Okay, let's restart. The assumption was, imagine yourself a regular man. You know, it's very, very easy to remember. A regular guy, 21 years old, learns in yeshiva. The assumption is he has brothers. She hasn't seen them, but the shadchan says he has 10 brothers. Somewhere in the resume it says it, yeah? We assume they're brothers. We assume that at the age of 22, regular yeshiva guy has no sons, hopefully. And therefore what? The assumption is that she, yeah, that she needs the Yibum, that she does need Yibum, right? That's the assumption. That's one way to assume. That's one way, right? Now, what does Rashi say at the end of the Mishnah? Becheskas she'enaz kuka. In our Mishnah, Rashi wants to say the Chazaka was up until now the opposite. She did not need Yibum. Why? He has sons and he has no brothers. Okay? The assumption was Cheskas she'enaz kuka. Fine? Now, he's coming at the end of his life and he says, depends what he says. If he's coming and he says, Yesh li bonim, you know what? I do have sons. I do have sons. Therefore, you are exempt for Yibum. Very good. To exempt her is okay. He's exempting her, as we assumed up until now that she's exempt. Yesh li achim, you want to come and forbid her and say I have brothers, to forbid her, no, you have no right to forbid her. That would have been very good. You can continue the heter. You have no right as one person. Who are you? Are you to aid him? No. Who are you? You can't forbid your wife by saying she's chayv yibum. Up until now, fine. So remember, he's always believed to say, to have sons, that's good for her. He's believed, he's ticked, he's fine, he's nice. To say, I have brothers, oh, and you need yibum, that we don't believe him. We only believe him for the good stuff, not for the bad stuff. It's easy to remember that way. Up until now, that would be okay, all is good, and we don't listen to the bad things, we only listen to the good news. Very nice. However, frag the Gemara, name of Nisin the Lokir of Noson, L'choyer Mishnah doesn't follow the opinion of Rab Noson, the Tanya. Now listen to a brisa that is a little bit different to the Mishnah, but similar concept. Ish'as Kiddushin Omar Yeshloi Bonim. Let's say at the time of Kiddushin, you realize this checker is empty. Here in the Mishnah, he didn't say anything in the time of Kiddushin. It was assumed. It was assumed that everything is fine, that she doesn't need Yibum, and so it was assumed up until the end of his life. The end of his life, 60 years later, it comes with big news. I have brothers somewhere. We don't listen to you. The brisa, which we're about to see now, he actually opened his mouth at the time of Kiddushin, and he said the following: Yesh loy bonim. At the time of Kiddushin, he says, don't worry, I have sons. You think it's a bad thing? No, it's good. I have sons, because this way, even if we don't have children together, you are not going to fall prey to Yibum. So he's trying to appease her and tell her, look, I have sons, it's okay. And then Bish'as Misa Omar En Loy Bonim. At the time of death, this is Hebrew. We go right to left, yeah? At the time of death, he surprises her negatively. And he says, down, I have no sons. I lied to you all that time. No sons. Rashi points out, by the way, he didn't say almenas. It wasn't a condition to the marriage, because if there's a condition to the marriage and then it's a lie, the Kiddushin never applied. It wasn't a condition, it was a statement. He told her, you should know, I have sons, don't worry. At the end of his life, he says, I feel so guilty. I lied to you all these years. I really have no sons from any other woman, and therefore you do need Yibum. Or similar case, but it's the same line. Ishas Kiddushin Omar Ein Loy Achim. At the time of Kiddushin, he declared and says, I have no brothers, which means, great, you'll never fall into Yibum. Whatever happens, no Yibum, no brothers. Ishas Misa Omar Yesh Loy Achim. At the time of death, again, he changed his mind and he says, yes, I have brothers, and you need Yibum. Not complicated. In the time of Kiddushin, he's appeasing her. Time of Kiddushin, he says, all is good, all is amazing, all is nice. In the time of death, he is saying all is bad. Right? That's very clear. Yeah. So which statement should we believe? Now he's dead. She doesn't know what to do. Do I need Yibum from the brothers? Yes or no? So now it says Tanakama, if there are brothers, do I have to look for ones? Yeah, now he claims he has brothers. Do I have to look for any brothers? Well, what do I do now? So now Ne'eman lehatir ve'ne'eman le'eso divrei Rebbe. Says Rebbe, we only believe the good statement and not the bad statement. That's Rebbe. Rebbe says you only believe the good and not the bad. Yeah, Rebbe says he's only believed to lehatir. At the time of the wedding, the time of the Kiddushin, when he says you are good, you are potter, all is well, he's believed. The ein ne'eman le'eso divrei Rebbe. At the time of the death, we don't listen to him. Why? We're going to see later, but it seems to be more or less like our Mishnah, that we don't believe negative information that comes at the end. He has no reshus to change his original dibur for in a bad way, yeah, to now forbid her. Who are you to forbid a woman to the ganze Welt, to the whole world? We don't believe you when you all of a sudden change your skin at the end of your life to a negative way to say she needs Yibum. We don't believe you. That's Rebbe. And Rebbe is very good with her Mishnah, right? We don't believe the negative information coming at the end, surprisingly. Now, who are you to all of a sudden forbid her? Rabbi Nosson says he's believed to answer her. Rabbi Nosson says, yes, he's believed when he said that she's also, he is believed. What do you mean, Af Ne'eman? If at the time of the wedding, he says all is well, we believe him. Rashi points out already here that when a man says that in the Kiddushin moment, he does have self-interest. Why? He wants to attract her, to marry him. And he says, I'm okay. I have no brothers, meaning no Yibum. I am a Yibum-free guy. He puts it in Shidduch resume. Yibum-free. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Marry me. I'm Yibum-free. Wow. What a catch. Right? And therefore, and still, yeah, Rebbe says that he's believed. And Rabbi Nosson says that he's also believed le'eso. He's believed also, according to Rabbi Nosson. Rabbi Nosson is in green. Green is for Rabbi Nosson. Rabbi Nosson says he's believed here, but he's also believed here to change his mind. Rabbi Nosson says that if at the end of the marriage, meaning towards his death, at his deathbed, he says, you need Yibum, we believe him. So the Chor, our Mishnah is not Rabbi Nosson. Our Mishnah says when we turn things badly and we say, I have brothers, we don't believe. And Rabbi Nosson says that when things go bad and at the end of his life he says, I have brothers, we do believe him. So the question is, L'choira, Rabbi Nosson is not going well with the Mishnah, which is not the end of the world. Rabbi Nosson is the Tana, but we prefer, if we can, to avoid Mechloikesim. And that's a question. Is our Mishnah good with Rabbi Nosson or not? L'choira or not? Rabbi Nosson says you can't change your mind every other day and towards the end of the life to give me new bad information and forbid her. Yeah, and Rabbi Nosson says you can. Rabbi Nosson says you can. Yes, we believe him to leso. And the Mishnah says you cannot. So that's a question. Yes. To that, yeah, you could understand Rabbi Nosson's idea as follows. I'm helping you a little bit. At the time of the Chasana, he was all eager, maybe desperate to get married. So in Shidduchim, people like to garnish, right? The truth. Yes, true. And therefore, what happens? Then comes the man and says, "No, I'm Yibum free." Towards the end of his death, he doesn't want to go to Gehenna because he created, an Isser for his wife, right? That could be right. However, Rebbe says no. Rebbe says he's not believed because at the end of the day, she was muchzak one way and you can't change the chazaka. But let's see how it develops. Now, Omar Rove says Rove no. The big difference, and that's why this chart is good now, is there's a big difference. At the Brisa, the Chosin actually said under the chuppah that all is well. In the Mishnah, he didn't. There's the chazaka. Whatever the chazaka is, I agree. We're not yet sure. Rashi is giving us some direction. But one thing we know for sure, in the Mishnah, there is no statement made at the time of Kiddushin. Right? There's a muchzakus. There was an assumption one way or the other, and he's coming to assert or to negate the chazaka, the general assumption that was going on. But Shenken at the Brisa, he stated, I have no brothers. I do have sons. That's different. But how is it different? Why should the difference make a difference? Says Rove like this. Shani Hosom, the Brisa is different. Because of the time of death, he regretted what's Hodar Bey, Chozar Boy. He regretted and changed his original statement. That's why we believe in Dafka that it's true. Dafka because he changed the statement he made, he doesn't want to feel guilty, right? Says Rashi, Kushtaka Omar, says Rashi, Shloya Ovain Tolui Boy. Very good, like you said, kind of, yeah. In other words, in the Brisa, because he himself is responsible for saying all is good, you don't need Yibum. Why is he changing his words before the death? When you die, you don't play games. And therefore, we believe him is trying to absolve himself of guilt of making a woman who's an Eshesish, a Yavomo, to go out to the market and marry anybody. That's also the Oraisa. It's not as bad as Eshesish, but it's pretty bad. And therefore, we say maybe then we dafka believe him to quickly regret and fix and clean, Pesach clean, what he did up until now. But when there's chazaka, Mashenkin in the Mishnah, the general chazaka, it's not his fault what she's assuming. She's assuming things. But people say, it's not my fault. And therefore, when he's making the statement over there, believe it or not, says Rashi, letziura kamechaven. Ay, 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 ay. Maybe in the Mishnah time, yeah, in the case of the Mishnah, when he says, I have brothers, in the Mishnah, when he's doing this, because they're causing her trouble, bad news, yeah, in the Mishnah, the upside down smile, in the Mishnah, he's trying to pull her leg. Even at the end of his life, he wants to be mitzar her. Maybe that bad marriage or something. Maybe he wants to, that's people do that too, right? At your last day at work in England, right? Sometimes I've heard from some people give you all the shtoch they wanted to give you the whole life, so didn't want to face you, right? Or in other countries as well. And people who don't have good midas, yeah. So then at the end of his life, what does he want to do? He wants to stick her, give her a bit of a pull her leg. And maybe that's why he's trying to be mitzvah her, because otherwise, how come he didn't say it the whole life? Now it's his time to get back at her. And maybe that's why it's mitzvah, and he says that I do have brothers, you need Yibum, so we don't believe him. Okay? Says Abaye. Abaye rejects the logic of Rove, and Abaye will win. Amar Abaye, v'lav the kol dekenu, isn't it kol sheken? Ashta, with all your psychology, Rava, if you look at simple Gemara logic, it does make sense. L'choira. Umaus from the kamora lediburei amata kushta kaomar kol sheken. If when he changes his clear statement, he said here no yibum et chasana. At the end of his life, he says yes yibum, and he changed his words and v'kushta kaomar, and you still say that he said the truth at the end. Rav Nosson says we believe him even though it changed from A to B, it changed from no yibum to yes yibum, and we follow his very flippant nature, and we still change. We go by the second dibur. Masnisim the lokamar ledibur lekol sheken. In the Mishnah, he didn't say anything. In the Mishnah, it's just a chazak. Of course, you have to believe him. In other words, if the dibur at the end of his life is so important, as you said, Parrot, at the end of their life, you don't make jokes, and we believe you so much at the end of your life, for good, for bad, for anything, even though we are now negating and we're pushing away a statement you made mefurash in the Kiddushin, so kol sheken, we believe you. If your statement is not negating a mefurash statement, it's just what? Saying something against the chazako. Of course we should believe you. So again, back to square one. I repeat the question now. Abaye rejected about Rava's attempt to explain and reconcile. And it looks like Rav Nosson and our Mishnah are not friendly. Our Mishnah ignoring the chazako, but our Mishnah is saying what? At the end of his life, he was saying, I have brothers, and we don't believe him. If he says, I have sons, we believe him. Bekitzer, to say good news, we believe. Bad news, we don't believe. And Rav Nosson says, we believe bad news. We believe bad news that much that even at the time of the Kiddushin, Kiddushin is also serious business, right? At the time of Kiddushin, Rabbi, Tuba, all very serious. And he didn't say it tonight, but he said, I am Yibum free. It was serious. And still, Rav Nosson says, if at the end of his life he changed his mind, we believe the statement of the end of the life for good or for bad. No? And in the Mishnah, we don't. So the Mishnah is not Rav Nosson. Sorry. The Mishnah and Rav Nosson are not friendly. Answers Abaye, very, very, very good. Now a whole new story. Hello, Abaye. Right? It was very ambiguous and very confusing. Oh, finally, finally, we're going to shed some light in this sad checker over here. Hello, Abaye. Mesnisin, deloy muchzaklan be'achi, veloy muchzaklan be'bani. Okay. In the Mishnah, before he got married, we assumed no brothers, veloy muchzaklan bebani. In other words, at the time of the Mishnah, the chazaka was, I'll just say one big thing, nice, smiley. Why? Because there are no sons, okay, but no brothers. No brothers. With chazaka is no brothers. She got married. I actually know a girl a few weeks ago. She broke a girl, she has 10 brothers. He's an only son. He has no brother, no sisters. Okay, these things happen. Single children do get married, and therefore, as far as the chazaka goes, as far as the assumption slash general knowledge goes, no brothers, no sons. Okay, the chazaka is a good chazaka, and that's at the Kiddushin. He didn't say anything. He doesn't have to say anything. They already dated 5 times, and she knows he has no brothers. And so life goes on, smiley, smiley, smiley. I'm not sure they're so smiley for not having children, but smiley, smiley, she knows that she is not Yibum material. That's the chazaka. Now we know the chazaka according to Abaye. Baruch Hashem. Damrinan. And now we say, now there is chazaka that he has no children, but also chazaka that he has no brothers. That's a good news. He has no brothers and therefore no Yibum. Omar, at the end of his life, all of a sudden he remembers at the end of his life to make statement about his family status. Yesh li bonim ne'eman. Now, to say I have sons, even though factually is changing what he said, because up until now he says I have no sons, and now he's saying I have sons. He's believed to say that he has sons. Why not? Doesn't bother Bechlal. He has sons. Givaldig that he has sons. Why? Because Lamaisa, who can, if we say you have sons, the Seder, then she doesn't need Yibum. Anyways, she didn't need Yibum. Doesn't make a difference because anyhow he has no brothers. Yesh li bonim, fine, okay, who cares? She doesn't need Yibum, and we keep believing she doesn't need Yibum from a different reason. But Lamaisa no Yibum. Yesh li achim eino ne'eman. Ooh, but if he says that the fact that I have no sons is true, but I have brothers. Drama. The camera focuses on his face when he says I have brothers. And that's a huge change. That's an earthquake. Up until now, what did we think? She doesn't need Yibum. He's saying, I have brothers, meaning you do need Yibum. At the end of his life, Eino Ne'eman. Why isn't he believed? Now you'll understand what I told you at the very beginning. Lav kol kamine dosa la kule alma. Very good. Lav kol kamine, we saw this statement a few times, mean it's not within his ability slash authority. Lav kol kamine means it's not in crass language, none of your business. Yeah. It's nothing that you don't control it. You have no right to forbid her on the ganze Welt. Very good. So that's clear. And that's how it's going to stay. Again, the Mishnah was muchzekes. She does not need Yibum for one of any reason. She does not need Yibum. If the whole life that's what you thought. If at the end of your life you want to get dramatic with me and say, I have brothers, nechitesi. You're one guy. Who are you to change a chazaka, right? And by who are you? You Shnei Edim? No. You get Negebed over? Yes. Who are you to forbid a woman in the ganze world? We don't listen to you with your sudden mysterious brothers. And that's a Mishnah. Now everything is good and simple, and Mishnah is a good part, is the easy part. What about the Brisa? What about the Brisa? Now we're going to feel this part. Oh, the Brisa is very easy. The chazaka of the Brisa was the chazaka was as follows. Braisa, in the case of the Braisa, and this is Abaye's edition, here comes Abaye's crescendo. In the case of the Mishnah, the Braisa, there was a statement at the time of the wedding of what? I have sons, I have no brothers, either or helps, right? And therefore, marry me, I'm good, I'm nice. You'll never need Yibum with me. Come, catch. But what was the chazaka before that? What did we think? What was the general assumption, general knowledge of the Welt before they got married? The muchzaklan be'achi, ve'lo muchzaklan be'bani. In the situation of the pre-wedding chazaka, muchzaklan be'achi, it said in the resume, and the shadchanim think and they say that he has in America, in I don't know where, in Sweden, he has what? Brothers. She never saw them, but it's assumed that he has brothers. Children, Boni, Mapitam. He's a kosher guy. He's a Panavisha guy, 23 years old. He has sons, Mapitam. Yeah, no way. And therefore, what is he? Of course, he's muchzak to require Yibum, right? He has brothers and he has no sons. As most people get married, the assumption is they need Yibum. Bad news. And all of a sudden he came and right before the Kiddushin, he tells her that everybody lied to you about me. I'm telling you the truth, my dear Kala. No, I'm great, I'm amazing. I have a son you don't know about from previous marriage. Yeah, I married a woman in Bnei Brak, I fear going to divorce her quickly, but already have a son. and I have no brothers. Okay, so now he's changing the chazaka. It's down, up, and down. At the end of his life, he's going back. It's like, like in music, A, B, A. He's changing now the end of his life, going back to the chazaka before the Kiddushin. Before the Kiddushin, it was assumed that really she would need Yibum. At the Kiddushin, all is well, all is nice, rosy and pinky. No, 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 Yibum by me. End of his life, back to telling her, yeah, it was true. All these years, yeah, it was true that you do require Yibum because I have no sons and I have brothers. Now, why do Rebbe and Rabbi Nosson argue whether it's believed or not believed? So let's see. Damrina. First of all, why is he believed? Let's go nice and slow. At the time of the Kiddushin, why is he believed to go against Chazaka? If I tell you, against Chazaka, let's say, I don't know, the guy's muchtak to be Jewish, and all of a sudden say he's not Jewish. I'm not believed, right? The person is Cheskas Kashrut, Cheskas Yiddishkeit, and I'm telling you, Reuven Shimonovich, who comes to shul every day, I don't know such guy, yeah? He's really a mafioso and a goy and a mamzer. Mechitesi. I'm one ed. If I'm saying about myself, even worse. Yeah. Ma'akesher. Why is he believed bichlal? So we say, Da'amrin and mali l'shaker. It's amigo. Remember a friend, amigo? He has amigo of mali l'shaker. Why should have you lied? We claim that he has an interest. What's the interest? To say, marry me. I'm Yibum free. No, we say he doesn't have that interest. Why? Because if he wanted to lie, you concerned that he's lying very strategically in order to pater her from Yobam, to promise her castles in the air that she'll be put from Yibum. Matzi Oma patanalach begita. Says exactly how, but that's not a problem. If all you're concerned about that I'm a Yibum free guy, want to marry a guy who's without Yibum, I can divorce you at any given moment right before the death. When I get very old, or when I get whatever, when I see that I'm about to die, most people die, naturally at the end of their lives, then I'll give you a get. So the Tosha said maybe now and later. I have another solution. There's no reason for me to lie if I can actually do it right now, right? Yeah, let's ask me to do something. If you can do it right now, why should I lie that I did it if you can do it right now? Most people, unless they're sick, they don't lie dafka. So he's believed because of migo. Oh, that leads us to the Mechloikis Rebbe and Rabbi Nosson regarding the end of his life. What's a Mechloikis? Oh, that's a very lomdus of Mechloikis. Rebbe Sovar, that is not believed to say that she needs Yibum. Why? Mali l'shaker ki edim dami. The also edim akri chazoko. Wow, which means Rebbe says as follows. What do you want to do at the end of your life when you say that you are really, that she needs Yibum? You want to go back to the original time before your statement of the Kiddushin. You want to bring history back and say, really, she does need Yibum as was assumed before the Chasana. Says Rebbe, you cannot do that. You know why? Because in the middle of your life, when you got married, when you were 22, what did you say? You were believed by Migo to say that she's Yibum free, no brothers, and yes, sons, right? At the time of the Kiddushin. Migo has the same level of Adim. Adim, that's it. We're stuck over here. Says Rebbe, you are stuck in that stage. Because we believed you in Migo, that's what's going to stay to the rest of your life. You can't play back and forth ABA all the time. No. Once we believe you with your Migo, the level of credence you have of credibility is so strong, like Adim. Adim, you can't have speech against Adim. It's as if Adim came and said that you are not a Yibum guy. Now you're saying that you are, too late. You're coming to change Seder Bereshis of the Adim. Masha'enken Rabbi Nosson Sovar. Rabbi Nosson thought otherwise. Mali l'shaker, Mali l'shaker ki chazoko dami. The Mali l'shaker is chazoko. It's as good as chazoko. Like you play cards, it's, ace against ace, or number 10 against number 10. It's the same level. So now, loy asi chazoko, the akra chazoko legamrei. We're going to see a very beautiful Rashi soon, but I'll tell you in general. When you had chazoko, you need Yibum. Then at the Chasana, you said, I don't need Yibum. That we say, we believe you, that you're not a Yibum. We believe you because you have a Migu. You believe you that you're not a Yibum guy. You have sons and you have no brothers. But listen to my definition, because in one word, Rashi will make a lot of sense to us. That chazak is not cancelled completely. It's dormant. It's dormant. It's there, but it may wake up one day, right? In other words, if your entire life, until your death and beyond, you stick to the chasana version that you're yibum free, we'll say yibum free. Because ein odom chote v'lo eloi, and because he would have his parents who kind of said, you didn't confess at your deathbed, we assume at the chasana you were serious. But because it's dormant, because it's one chazak against the other, it's like edim neged edim, you don't know who to believe. Oh, so we keep things quietly. But we do bear in mind that before the chasana, and it wasn't ever completely erased and cancelled. Before the chasana, there was strong rumors that this guy is a Yibum guy, that he has brothers and he has no sons. If now he's going to go back to the original chazaka, then we wake up the dead, the dormant becomes active, we reactivate the original chazaka, says Rab Nosson, and we say now we know that really at the time of the Kiddushin you lied, now you are more serious at your deathbed, and now we're going to believe that she needs Yibum, says Rab Nosson. And all that, my friends, has nothing to do with the Mishnah, because in the Mishnah there was no statement here. The Mishnah was only chazaka. Chazaka, you can't break a chazaka lechumra. Can't be machmir in a woman against chazaka. Who are you? But here, when there was chazaka of yes requiring yibum, and your statement said that she doesn't need yibum, now changing back to the original chazaka, we may believe that, says Rab Nosson. Look at the last Rashi of Rab Nosson Sovar, and we'll finish with that. The Rashi before the Mishnah. Rab Nosson Sovar is the last Rashi before the Mishnah, the Mesnisim. Says Rashi as follows: V'loi asya chazaka demalo l'shaker, the chazaka of the migo, the akra chazaka kamaisa, the chazaka of the migo, that all is good and all is nice, doesn't completely akra, what's la'akor? Doesn't uproot, very good. Yeah, doesn't uproot the original chazaka completely. Davikai ba koidim kiddushin, that chazaka that he lived by the entire life, before Kiddushin, leukma lehach becheskel she'enez kuka lemifsal dibure bishas misa, right? And we don't say that she remains becheskel she'enez kuka to disqualify what he says at the time of death. Meaning, we don't disqualify what he said at the time of death, because the time of death resonates very well, fits very well with the chazaka that we knew from before the wedding. It's kind of like 2 against 1. What we always knew about him before the chasana and what he's saying now, they fit together and they're back to life together, like Choizer V'Nio. Umiu. However, says Rashi, Eloi Hodar Bey, let's say at the time of the deathbed, he did not regret what he said. He did not revoke. He stayed with his smiley face idea of no Yibum needed. Then have a Sharia La'alma. Then she would have been allowed to marry wherever she wants, and she wouldn't have been a Yavama. Why? Because although lo asya chazaka v'oka chazaka legamre, although the good chazaka at the time of the wedding of no Yibum doesn't completely erase the original chazaka, the bad one, however, arui miya Yisroi, arui means it's been a bit shaken. We managed to shake it up a bit. The kol kama de lo iskachish diburi kama, as long as his original statement at the time of the chasana that all is well, as long as that was never changed, neither he, nobody else ever told us about Yibum, the whole life and death, she assumed all the time, yes, what he said at the chasana, that never changed, that he is not a Yibum guy, then Meheman, then he's believed. Why? Then Odom choyte v'lo eloi. Oh, a person, as we said yesterday, 2 days ago, we said, a person does not sin unless he gets benefit from that. So a person who's at his deathbed, right? As you said, he's a serious guy. Yeah, he would have regretted. Rashi says, if he really had brothers, at the moment of truth, when he knows he's going out to Beis Din Shalmala, these are all religious people here. Yeah, he would have regretted that. So we rely on that. So again, although it's a bit fishy that at the time of the chasana, he's all of a sudden changing things to his benefit and saying, I'm not Yibum, and your whole life they lied to you about me, yeah, before my wedding, yeah, the Shadchanim or whatever, then we believe it with a pinch of salt. Again, If the entire life and death, yes, he never changed his mind, even in his deathbed, it must be that this chazaka is serious. And that remains dormant and goes to sleep and finished. Masha'inken, if at the time of deathbed he says, no, I really lied to you. And my matzah before the chasana, what the shadchonim told you and what people told you is true. I really do have brothers, then we believe him. Because really, we never really erased that option. He was always there in the twilight, ambushing in the corner. And therefore, at the end of the life, we go back and we believe that's Obnosan. While Rebbe said no. Rebbe said that migo has such power like Edim. Edim, you don't start with. Edim and halacha are always number one evidence. Rambam and others, Edim is above reproach. And therefore, we say, once he said, I am Yibum free, we don't care what he says afterwards, not even in his deathbed. Why did he say it? Good question. He wants to chaper her. They had their bad times and good times. Now at the end, he wants to stick her. Some people, it doesn't matter why even, yeah? At the end of the day, we view his statement of Kiddushin as real edus, that's it. I don't care if afterwards he says that she's osir, we disregard that because according to Rebbe, we erased that off his history completely. That's pshat. The Seder. I'm sorry about the confusion with the Mishnah, but the Mishnah is now clear to us. I just want to do a little bit of teshuvah because I think I confused you at the beginning of the Shiur. So let's again. The Mishnah is very clear. In the Mishnah itself, there was no statement under the chuppah. I didn't say anything. And the chazaka then was good chazaka. The chazaka was, I have no brothers. I have no sons. Who cares? I have no sons. Most chasanim don't have sons. I have no brothers. That's all you should care about. And that's how they lived their life happily, almost happily ever after, assuming the entire life that she doesn't need Yibum, right? Great, he has no brothers, amazing. And then at the end of his life, he comes with this dramatic statement, I have brothers. Oh, wow, drama. We don't care. Everyone agrees we don't care. Why? Because you should go against the chazaka to answer a woman. Who are you? The chazaka, one person's statement against general chazaka, and that chazaka was never canceled like Shnei Edim, right? No. Therefore, we don't believe, Lekula Alma, we don't believe him when he says, I have brothers because you stop answering a woman. To say that I have sons, Beseder, yes, sons, good. Yes, sons means tighter. Is machzik the chazaka that she doesn't need Yibum. The more the merrier. Beseder, no Yibum. Very good. Otherwise, Beseder, Mashenka the Mishnah, is the Brisa is a different story when there was one chazaka, statement against the chazaka, and again, in this deathbed, he's going back to the pre-marriage chazaka. That's a question: do we or don't we leave in the corner dormant the original chazaka? Yes or no? That's machlokas of Nosan and Shkoyach Gadol Me'oid. Thank you. I hope that's clear. If not, you can review. I wish I had time to make a chart. Right now, the chart I'm dealing with is, clean this, clean that. Okay, shop v'chule, gola scaling, cleaning the car, v'chule v'chule. Beseder, that's a chart right now. Sorry, tomorrow, no shiur. Maybe about the Haggadah. I'd like to learn a little bit about the Passover Haggadah. Maybe share some ideas with you. Thank you so much for being here all this time, even difficult times. And may Klal Yisrael have Geula Shlema very soon. And we will be helped by others, and we will help the world spiritually. Hatzlacha uvracha. Thank you.